I'm only playing a supporting actor's role today. The main actor is Owen MacMahon, Bryan MacMahon's son. So we'll proceed now up across the castle and down by the river. And I hope you all enjoy it. You know you have arrived when you refer to as Owen. My father was known as Bryan. And in a small town, everybody has to have a nickname, so that's the appendage. We're going to assemble just opposite the statue, but can I just start with a quotation from George Fitzmaurice's The Magic Glasses, because the time is limited. Off with me now, flaking up the long road to being a horner. No time have I to waste, and a witch to prophesy that my time was limited. Devils and curs would say 'twas myself invented the prophecy. Devils and curs, but I tell you, my good woman, my time is limited. My time is limited. Follow me. The statue of my father inside the Shanachie, and I was the youngest of the family, and in the pecking order I was very far down, I can tell you. So this is my hour of fame, and there's a couple of my brothers in the audience, and they dare not interrupt me. The challenge that I will issue this morning is a quotation from the 1952 novel, Children of the Rainbow. For the last time I'll endeavour to instruct the youth, and then I'll raise my voice no more. I consider it the duty of one old man in every generation to pass on the ferocity he has inherited. Often and often I have told ye of the kind of place ye were born into. I have striven to raise in ye a pride for the noble people before ye who fell in love with human nature, and through human nature fell in love with God. I have striven to convey before now that the young life as I lived was so thronged with small beauties that you wouldn't think the sons and daughters of the flesh we were, but children of the rainbow, dwelling always in the morning of the world. And if only the all-seeing God had seen fit to send us a man with the gift of ink, then maybe the story of our small wonders would go shouting through the borders of the nation. That was the rallying cry of Old Font and Children of the Rainbow, and that speech has key words for my father's what did he say, his purpose in life and the essentials in living a fulfilling life. Words like instruct, duty, pass on, ferocity, pride, noble people, human nature, love, God, young life, small beauties, gift of ink, story and the border of the nations. It's named from a legend of a naked woman bathing, and she was seen and she was so ashamed that she drowned herself. Her name was Fiel, and that's why the River Fiel gets its name. You can take it or leave it. I'm not giving you, I'm only giving you what I saw, or what I read. We have the... have you heard about that? The hill behind us is Ballygrennan, and the green trees there is the marketplace. I will deal with both of them. Maybe I'll just give you a line out of a song by Gary. From Ballygrennan to Churchmire, I see rising from the square, while the castle stands defiantly beside that river fair. The island racecourse to the west I now once more behold, as I pick the wild blackberries in the hills around the Stole. The island. The races were first held there in 1858. They were relocated there from Ballye and Ballybunion because every year in Ballybunion there was an occasion, and it descended into a fight, a faction fight, a famous faction fight at the end of the 1830s between the Cooleens and the Mulvilles, and various accounts are given that there was either 20 or 40 people killed, and it was outlawed in the faction fight, so the races were held in conjunction with that gathering, and they were relocated to the Stole. The bridge we stand on is the third bridge over the river. At the 1908, a sensational incident is recounted that the bridge collapsed. No life was lost. The water was only 3 feet deep, and that day 14,000 people were supposed to have paid 6 pence each. The promoters would head off lawsuits for injury or stress or traumatic, or post-traumatic stress disorder, decided that they'd offer anybody who got wet a new trousers. And they were to line up with a ticket outside the drapery. I spoke to a man from Kerry who told me his father got 2 trousers that day. In 1910, the starting of the new building bridge was built and it cost £541. It was reinforced concrete 6 foot wide, and it was built by a man named J.J. Kennelly, who was famous because he had a Studebaker car. He was the first man to have a Studebaker car in the store. In 1822, there was no races during the Trouble, and in 1956, the present bridge was built at a cost of £5,000, 11 foot wide. In 1959, the far over stand was burdened, and the peculiarity of it was burdened during the races, the middle day of the races, and the race was won on that particular day by a grey horse, and his name was Gunsmoke. While the stand was on fire, the horse passing the post was Gunsmoke. My father wrote a little ditty about the town of Listowel, and it goes as follows. Oh, Puck may be famous and Galway be grand, and the fame of Tramore echo down through the land, but I'll sing you a ballad of beauty extol, as I found it long ago in the town of Listowel. Tooraloo, tooralay, for the week of the races in lovely Listowel. They came from Castle Island, they came from Tralee, and the black-looking devil. Stop, that's not PC. In a review of the racecourse and its facilities about 15 years ago in that very famous racing journal called the Racing Post, they were in full praise of the facilities, the track, its beauty and its location, but the writer said that in the restaurant there was this poem or song which had a very politically incorrect phrase in it. So the song had to be rewritten, and it now goes. They came from Castle Island, they came from Tralee, and a good-looking gentleman came from Fiji, with a Dutchman, a German, a Chink and a Pole, but it's more like Geneva than lovely Listowel. Tooraloo, tooralay, more like Geneva than lovely Listowel. A market, where the trees are, you could just see the house. That was essential to my father's childhood. He wrote a number of stories. One of them was born in a marketplace, but you can't believe that either because he wasn't. He lived in a house on the market, but he was born on the top of the town in Patrick Street. But at about 3 years of age, they moved to a newly built house where the Super Value supermarket is there in Market Street at the moment. And outside his back door was the whole microcosm of the world. The marketplace branded him for life. All aspects of country life was seen there. 2 features were broadcast on BBC, one at the instigation of the famous producer Bertie Rogers, the poet, and at the other by a very famous Republican who did some broadcast work with the BBC called Ernie O'Malley, and there is a whole new story. He wrote about the marketplace. My appetite was whetted by what I spied in the marketplace. Beyond it gleamed the river that encircled the island racecourse. To the south were the mountains of the Dingle Peninsula, while to the west my new home was a slightly downhill street of thatched houses called the Glown, or Glown of Fuca, to give it its full title. And Wonderland the market proved to be, as I haunted the place in all the impressionable years as I grew into adolescence. The place was occupied in one form or another almost every day of the week. Calf market, pig market, butter market, hay and straw market, vegetable market. Day after day found it thronged with farmers and noisy with shouting, arguing and ballad singing of men, the haranguing of fortune tellers, delf sellers, cask clothes merchants and conmen. All this orchestrated by the braying, bawling, squealing, barking, neighing and bleating of farm animals. Horses, cows, ginnets and mules, pigs, asses and sheep. Hundreds of cabbage plants of Enfield variety were laid down in rampart buttocks, while palisades of scallops and thatching withies, these last in great demand for the roofs of the farmhouses of the Barony. There too were sellers of purple dills, blue, black periwinkles and orange-coloured cockles. These last were sold out of large wicker baskets and measured with a fluted point glass. And so you can see all the wonders there, and there he met the country people who were the source of his story. He also writes about buying potatoes there and went around to different vendors of potatoes and taking a potato out of each bag and going into the house which was next to it and boiling the potato. And how could he distinguish it? The first potato he had, he put 1 match into. The second potato, he had 2 matches. The third potato was 3 matches. The fourth potato was 5 matches, whatever, so on until he had 10 potatoes. And then when they boiled up, he picked the floury one. And he said, that was number 8. He went back to the number 8 potato seller and got the best potatoes in that. He was fond of the potatoes. Can we move on? Because, well, right, maybe I'll just deal with it here. You look at the river and it flows from Rock Chapel, where it rises in the Mulkerite Mountains, down through Abbeyfield, down through the Stole, around the corner, down to Fidug, and it meets the sea at the Cashin. Now, this is the source. Someone once said that poor is the youth a river doesn't run through. Well, my father didn't have any such deprivation. But can I just say that given the rallying cry that I issued originally, he then went on to say that I set out in my own surroundings, among my own people, and with limited resources, to identify, isolate, and explore in some kind of literary form the elusive, almost unbearable ache that lies at the heart of humanity. Now, humanity was his hometown, hero town, he called it. Why was it hero town? Were all its citizens heroic? Good God, no. Of then, what does its heroism consist? The citizens were truly human. They understand human relationships. They preserve social equipoise. If a man raises his head in pride, they lower it. If he lowers it, they raise it. It is an articulated law. It is handed down without courts. The people have familiars, totems and taboos. They preserve the life of the imagination. They communicate in the shorthand of nerves. They adore stories. Walk easy when your jug is full, was a common piece of advice he always got and gave. So within his hero town, he observed a uniqueness of each individual. No two people are created alike. This simple statement is fundamental to my attitude to life, that it is a privilege to meet and engage with a person who has never been created before and will never be created again. It is in this context that the good teacher, the good parent, the good friend, the good neighbour engages with all people, especially those within the impressionable years. It is a privilege to meet each person who has never been created before. This is what the writer celebrates and the teacher cultivates. He recalls in the book The Storyman, it takes all kinds to make a world. All were human, each was unique. How to convey to others these moments of uniqueness, these epiphanies tinctured by the virtues and vices that transference connotes. This was the passion that drove him. It was addictive and kept him on a high all his life. As he said, all types of people were there. The treacherous, rancorous, sullen, the ambitious, the successful, the defeated, those loyal, by turns, devoted, ennobled, enslaved. Or as the old quotation says, people living lives of quiet desperation. And as one man said, it takes all kinds to make a world, and in reply his cranky neighbour shouted meaningfully, and they're all there too. They're all personalities. He didn't like the word personality. He liked the word personality, he didn't like the word character. Because if you look up the meaning of the word personality in the dictionary, it says an individual, the sum of whose part makes him unique. And that's what he always looked for, uniqueness. And as I'm on the dictionary, he was very fond.